Okay, I'm going to skip that entire section about in the PowerPoint about the message box, and I'm going to this last two slides because these are more complicated than that is. So I may come back to that afterwards. But I wanted to do this now. So okay, so the last thing we want to do in the PowerPoint is to display the selected customer. So what that means is, what that means is if we click on this customer here, we want to see their information here. Okay, so the way we're going to do that is um, there's a event handler called selected index changed. So like if you click here, you want one thing to happen. If you click here, you want something else to happen. You can access or create this event handler by double clicking on the list box. So double clicking in here, and you'll get this private sub list customer selected index changed. You'll get this event handler. So then we're going to put some code in there. We're going to have an if then code in there. And like here, we're going to write a function called display customer because we want to display the customer. So so going back to the name of this event handler, what is it called? It's list customer, so it's this list box. Selected index changed. So you might imagine that when what this event handler does, or what it accepts, is, or when you click on one of these, it gets the index of the entry that's been selected. So so what we're going to do is, I'm sorry, it doesn't get the index, it gets the actual entry of what's been selected. And so what we're going to do is we're going to write a function called display customer, and it's going to get the actual entry. Now the entry is a customer, so it's of type customer is the entry, the parameter, and we'll refer to it as temp, that's the local name. And so then what we want to do is we want to fill in the values here with temp's different properties. So temp name we want to fill in here. Temp first name we want to fill in here. So temp txt first name. Temp last name we want to fill in here. So txt last name.text. And the age and the email. Okay, so we're going to write this function like this, and it's going to accept a customer, and we can refer to that customer as selected customer. This is remember back in this slide we created a property called selected customer. It was a type of customer actually, okay, or it was a customer type, and so we created this property before, and it returns it returns the customer. So it takes the index and returns the customer from the list box. So we created this property before, so now we're using it. And we're using it here. So we refer to the selected customer. That gives us the particular customer that we've that's been selected. And then we use this function, that was a subroutine rather, that we just created, to display it in here. Okay, so pretty complicated, I admit it, but that's what it is. And basically that's it. As I said, I skipped the message box discussion, which is in the PowerPoint, and if I have time I'll also make a video for that, but I think that's a little bit less complicated than the rest of this. And then finally, here's your task, and that's the task of adding new customers. So expand your structured demo program. The goal is to allow users to add new customers. So we want an add button. Adding a customer should add a new customer structure to the array list. So it has to be added to the array list. But then we also want to see it in this list, in the list box. So to add a string for the customer to your list box. And the GUI, your new add functionality should be implemented by a new button called btn add, so this button here. And then also we want to implement a little bit of error control. So your program should refuse to add requests unless email, age, and first and last names are provided by the user via a message box. So in other words, if they forget to put something in there, then you should give them a message box, hopefully telling them what they forgot to put in, and don't let them add until they have put everything in, filled out all these fields. So they have to come back here and fix the fields, and then if it passes, then you might have a message box saying, do you really want to add this customer? And they say yes, and then you actually add it, and that means these two things happen. And also define and use a custom isDuplicate function to check. Refuse to add exact duplicate customers. So check to see, so you have to check through your array list to see if that customer is actually in your array list. And you're supposed to write a function that does this, isDuplicate function. Okay? And then customer display. Clicking any customer in your list box should display its values in all 5 text boxes. Well, actually, we already did that in the previous screen. And the due date is the beginning of next class. Okay? So good luck with that.